What a crowd. Wow. Come to the Hastings Chamber of Commerce event and get uncomfortably close to your neighbor. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Christy Bars, and I'm the president of the Hastings Chamber of Commerce. And I want to start out by saying that I am just absolutely overwhelmed by the turnout tonight. Being the newbie and not knowing what to expect, I'm just very surprised at the amount of support that is here tonight. And it really speaks for the Hastings community because it shows that you come together to celebrate the talent in our town. So thank you for being here. As I said, I'm Christy Bars, and I started with the Chamber in August. And after a few months, introductory months, I took a break and had our second son, Brixton, in October. So thank you. Round of applause. And having to leave a brand new position after only a few months should have been extremely stressful. But it wasn't, and it was seamless for two reasons, or two people in particular, actually. Chris and Joan work at the Chamber, and without them, it wouldn't have happened. So are they in the room here right now? If they could stand up, please. Thank you. Yeah. They are the reason that this past year has actually been so seamless for Chamber members. They ran Rivertown Days, and tonight is really due to the two of them. So thank you both very, very much. Before we start the award program, I do want to thank our presenting sponsor, Alina and Regina Hospital. Regina Hospital has experienced some very exciting changes this year with the remodel and expansion of their emergency room, with their new president, Tom Thompson, who is here tonight. Does everyone know Tom? Wave to the crowd, Tom. And soon they'll be breaking ground on a new Alina Health Clinic on 55 near Walmart. So thank you for being present tonight, and thank you for your continuing support in the business community. With that, I'm going to officially kick off tonight's program by recognizing our outgoing board chair, Bruce Goldblish. Bruce has served on the board, or served as board chair in 2015, and led the chamber through its largest transitional year in 25 years. During his term as chair, he helped in relocating the chamber office to a highly visible location near the Hastings Bridge. He formed and led the task force that interviewed and hired a new chamber president, which I thought was quite successful. And he was instrumental in executing a very, very successful and profitable Rivertown Days. For those of you who know Bruce, you know that he is as kind and as humble as they come, and I really can't say much more about that. He runs a successful financial institution in town and has been a community leader on many organizations and boards. But I think if you were to ask Bruce what his greatest accomplishment was, he would tell you that raising three happy and intelligent daughters who are now just about to get into college. Please join me in giving Bruce a well-deserved round of applause.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to say real quickly that thank you to the board that we had this year, and a special thank you to our committee that hired Christy, because I think that we all did a wonderful job in doing that. So David Walshans, Mike Lavin, Tammy Friedrich, Joe Reagan Scully, and Abra Hofgaard came together, and we kind of reached together and we dusted off something that Dale Olson had put together 25 years ago and looked at it and said, is this what we're going to work off this time? So we figured it out. So wonderful job, and congratulations, Christy, on your new position.
Okay, let's get to the main event. Many people would agree that the influence of a good teacher can never be erased. Spencer Johnson has taught social studies at the Hastings Middle School for 29 years. He believes the most effective form of teaching is to provide a hands-on experience, which is why he fills his classroom full of time period clothing and historical artifacts. Walking into his classroom is like visiting a museum. Spencer is heavily involved in many of the war reenactment groups across the state, but is famous in town for the Civil War reenactment at the Leduc Estate. In fact, he encourages many of his students to participate with him in the reenactment and provides them with the clothing to do so. He also started the school's outdoor program, which takes students on various fishing and hiking trips throughout the year. When asking his students why they felt that Mr. Johnson deserved to win Educator of the Year, they said he's funny, he treats them with respect, and makes learning fun. So to give you an in-depth look of what a day in the life with Spencer Johnson is like, Hastings Community TV went out to the school district, and they filmed this video, which we have for you tonight.
My name is Spencer Johnson. I teach at Hastings Middle School. I've been teaching here almost 30 years, 29 years if I do my math correctly. You'll see kids, you give them ideas and things to think about and try to teach them things, and little light bulbs will pop up. And what's fun about middle school, they're not really focused like high school. And so you get these crazy answers that have nothing to do with what you're talking about, but they're thinking. My goal as a teacher is to inspire kids to learn on their own. If you do things they don't expect, you kind of surprise them every once in a while, then they're like, what's he gonna do next? We better pay attention. What's he gonna do next? What does that mean? What happened there? Let's talk about what that really means. That's how it would have been. You see all that smoke, it's kind of hard on the battlefield. Ooh, the cannon was really loud, it jumped back, and so I could tell about that, but they see it and they experience it. They're never gonna forget that. Every day I look forward to coming to school, and every day I look forward to each class coming in, and yeah, you pull your hair out, and once in a while you want to strangle a kid, but no, you just give them a hug and say, here, we'll get you squared away, and it's a challenging thing to do, but there's a lot of energy and enthusiasm in it. And you get energy from the kids too, and from the people that you work with.
Let's give it up for Spencer Johnson. Once again.
Standing ovation, oh my God. I hope I've not strangled anybody in this room. I want to start by saying this really is a great honor. It seems like you go to work every day, you keep your nose to the grindstone, keep your head down, and one day you look up and everybody's smiling. Thank you. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for this honor. I also want to thank my parents, my mother in particular, who's sitting right there. I come from a family of teachers, my mother, all her sisters. My mother continues to inspire me with her strength and wisdom every day. Thank you, Mom, for getting me here. When I came to Hastings 29 years ago and had an interview, I walked out, I thought, I'm never going to get this job. But I was wrong. I'd driven past this community quite a bit on the way up to college to go to St. John's University, and I always thought when you drive over the bridge and you look and see East 2nd Street there, and I thought, what a cool community. I'd like to come visit that someday. Little did I know I'd spend the bulk of my life here, raise my kids here, and maybe someday retire here. It's been a real privilege to teach. The support I get from the school district, the principals past and present, my peers, the parents, the community, all have allowed me to teach outside of the box. To me, history is not just something to read about, stories of dead presidents and dates, but rather something to experience. Putting objects in people's hands, shooting a musket while I teach the Civil War, Students dressing up in wool uniforms and marching as I describe Pickett's charge at Gettysburg. Firing a cannon when I teach about the defense of Fort McHenry and the Star-Spangled Banner. Holding a sword today as I describe the Texans crossing the line at the Alamo. All this opens the imagination to other things. Hopefully, it inspires students to look a little deeper. It makes the abstract concrete and fleshes out the stories of our past. But my goal has not been to teach history so much as to inspire students to learn on their own. Trips to local spots like the Leduc House and Lakeside Cemetery show the students the role of our community in our history's past. Bring up old stuff from home. They have to bring in some sort of an artifact. Teaches them why we keep things in our homes, mementos, and remember the stories from our family and our grandparents. And like in the video, what I love about middle school students is their minds are always open. Whatever you toss out, they're eager to learn, willing to try new things, lots of boundless energy, never a dull moment. Teachers do not get a lot of immediate feedback from your students, but that's okay. Kids are worried more about what's for lunch, what their friends are wearing, than to tell the teacher thank you. But we live in a nice community here, and often at places like Walmart or Target or Cub, or even down East 2nd Street downtown, I have adults come up to me, like Ryan Foster, and say how much they appreciated my teaching style. I have parents at conferences that tell me they were in my class kind of a while ago. I know some of you were in my class a little while ago too. So I know that something I'm doing is working. Again, I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, the community, and everybody here today for your support and for this award. I can tell you, in all honesty, I'll do my best to continue to be as creative, caring, and enthusiastic in the next 29 years of teaching as I have been in the last 29. Thank you.
Okay. We all know people who dedicate numerous of hours to volunteering in our community. But every once in a while, you come across an individual who was truly put on this earth to be an example for others. Rita Crea has been an active volunteer in the Hastings community for over 40 years. She's used her strong accounting background to advise and lead the money counting at the Seas Church. And she's also helped them out with countless other activities. Let's see. Rita's children will tell you that for as long as they can remember, her second home has been the Regina Medical Center Auxiliary. She's an active auxiliary member since 1975 and still continues to manage 2 of the hospital gift shops. In 1993, Rita was recognized as the first auxiliary of the year for her 450 plus hours of service. We can only assume that after 22 years that number is well over 1,000. In her spare time, Rita is active in her spare time. She's actively involved in planning monthly events at the Oak Ridge Assisted Living, offers to drive Alzheimer's patients to Mass, and volunteers at the Hastings Public Library, where she has turned her love for reading books into giving back to the community. Let's take a look at Rita's volunteer work in action.
I'm Rita Crea. I joined the auxiliary in 1975 and have been working in the gift shop ever since that. And this was my beginning, or big beginning, of volunteering. It's just part of my life that I continue on. I don't want to age. I want to stay young, stay busy. It's part of my theory also. And it is in giving that you receive. So the rewards are great by the friendships you make through all this, which I've made a lot. I've made it a goal of mine that I do some volunteering every day. I just feel that that's how you get into a regime of making things happen. And my husband is very supportive. He understands when I go, it's okay. He does his thing, I do mine, and we meet for supper. To me, it's been my way of giving back for all I've received. God's been good. He gave me the accounting ability. Let's do it, you know.
Get up here, Rita.
Well, first, I want to thank the Chamber for the great honor. I also want to thank my nominees, Judy Gilbert, Michael Weiss, and my 4 children. And of course, my husband of 54 years, Joe, who has always supported me in my passion for volunteering. They are all here with me tonight. This was quite a surprise when my daughters called to share the news. I started volunteering when I realized I couldn't give money, but I could give of my extra time and talents. Growing up on a farm in Montgomery, Minnesota, was natural for me to do more, since sitting still isn't something I do very well. Excuse me. I had no idea when I joined the auxiliary 40 years ago that I would still be enjoying my time by managing the gift shops, which I do now. After retiring from a 40-year career in banking, I got involved in C's as a money counter, Friends of the Library, helping out at Oak Ridge, especially with their bazaar, Meals on Wheels, going up to Caring and Sharing, just a few of the little sidelines that I do in between. In fact, today I served at a funeral luncheon. I am thankful that God has given me the energy and talents to use. I volunteer because I like to help others and give back to the community that has been so great to me and my family. It has never felt like work to me. It is enjoyable and fun, and I have made so many wonderful friends along the way. In closing, our auxiliary motto speaks very well to how volunteerism has impacted my life. It is in giving that we receive. Thank you again so much.
Aren't those videos amazing? I want to thank Kurt. Stand up, please. Kurt Redkey. He is the one who put together these videos. They're pretty incredible. And if you want to view them later tonight, they will be up on the Hastings Community TV Facebook page after the event. All right. It is no surprise that this year's Business of the Year goes to Carlson Capital Management. Founded in 1989 by brothers Jeff and Greg Carlson, Carlson Capital Management has grown to a team of over 40 employees with offices in Northfield, Hastings, Bloomington, and Rochester. They serve more than 700 clients and manage over $1.3 million in assets. Recently, CNBC ranked Carlson Capital Management as the number 2 in the top 100 wealth management firms across the nation. I'm going to let that sink in for just a minute. Number 2 in the top 100 wealth management firms across the nation. If you ask them, they'll say that their exceptional customer service and client retention is what got them to that award. 4 years ago, CCM reinvested in Hastings by building a beautiful new building across from City Hall in our downtown Hastings area. While serving their clients is CCM's number 1 priority, they also encourage all their employees to get involved in various community organizations. Let's hear from Jeff, Greg, and Justin. Let's hear what Jeff, Greg, and Justin had to say when Community TV visited their Hastings office.
At Carlson Capital Management, our primary goal is to bring peace of mind to the clients that enter our doors.
My name is Greg Carlson, and I'm one of the founders of Carlson Capital Management.
I am Jeff Carlson, one of the founders at Carlson Capital Management.
I'm Justin Stetz, I'm president of Carlson Capital Management.
We are an integrated wealth management firm, and by integrated, we need to know and understand a client's complete financial situation And we want to use our experience, our expertise, and our care to integrate 6 main components of everyone's wealth plan: their investments, their estate plan, their income tax planning, their risk management, their cash flow and retirement planning, and then any charitable or philanthropic endeavors.
We have a client retention rate of over 99%. All of our growth, almost all of our growth, is what we call organic. It comes from people telling other people that you might want to consider looking at this firm to see what it is that they have to offer because we've had this experience.
In 1987, we started that venture, and it was just the 2 of us, and have grown that to today, whereby we have 40 employees and now manage $1.3 billion in assets for about 700 client relationships.
This company was built on real people that had a desire to make an effective and long-standing change within each client's life.
So I moved to Hastings a little over 30 years ago, and Christy, when you called me the newbie, it was just a couple years back. I was talking with Harry Sieben, thinking I'd been here for almost 30 years, and he goes, "Oh, well, you're just a newbie." You have, and according to him, so do I still. When I decided to move to Hastings, Greg and I grew up in a small town in western Minnesota, about 2,000 people, and I had lived in a couple other places after college for real short times. But I said, it's not a community unless it has Main Street. And my first office when I moved to town was right above Lawrence Interiors, overlooking Main Street. And you know, since then, even though I've moved around several times in different offices around town, Hastings needs to have a vibrant business community, and moving here, it's kind of the dream all of you have as business owners, business leaders within the community, and just to be a part of this community and be involved in many aspects of its development. From, you know, I remember in the early days of being on Rivertown Days Committee, the United Way, helping to get the YMCA started, Young Life, FCA, being a great part of the church community with St. Philip's. A lot of people ask me, did I ever plan or did I ever think that at some point, is this what the goal was, is to have a firm of 40 people and growing and expanding? And there's just many multiple things there. First and foremost, we get up every day because we just have a passion for helping other people. And by integrating people's complete wealth management, how we can improve and help people and see that the end results is just very, very rewarding. But maybe more so than that, when we were able to have the fortunate to grow, I always say I'm able to have people working around me that are a lot smarter than me, and that is obviously very, very true. But what it does, it also brings other people into the communities in which we work and live. And we have others that are able to raise their families, participate in other things going on in our communities, and be involved in things. And that's the bottom line is we have a community that we live in and we choose to be here, and we all want to make it better. I envision it a little bit like the property that I was so fortunate to be able to build a building on 4 years ago. That one of the main things that attracted to me to that property were the oak trees on the side of it. And at one point in time, they were just small acorns. And today, And we had to dig into the rock of that lot, and just knowing how difficult it has been for those oak trees that have probably been there for over 100 years and have grown. And I just envision that with the building that we were able to put up, and a place that I spend more time than home that is just very comfortable, and it's solid as a rock. And some of the rocks, for many of you don't know, the fountain that is in front was from the Metropolitan Building, which was torn down in 1961 in downtown Minneapolis. It's New Hampshire green granite. It was trained here in 1895. And just that analogy of an acorn growing and becoming a strong, sturdy tree that's going to be around for a long, long time, or the stone that came out of the earth that is going to be there for a long, long time. And I guess my hope and wish is that in all of us, as we all try to develop our businesses and be a part of a community, that we are able to have that solid rock, that solid foundation on which we all build in our business up in, and therefore we make Hastings a better place to be in. And there are other things, and I could go on and on. Some of the things I'm most proud of, being an active Rotarian for the full 30 years that I've been here, and some of the great projects with the river bridge years back, and now the pavilion on our riverfront that the Rotary Club helped to get that whole project started, and what addition that's going to bring to the community. And if we can all just continue to do that and relish and love the place that we live and raise our children and socialize with everyone, I think Hastings is going to continue to be the great community that it is. So thank you very much to the Chamber for this award. It's humbling. I'm proud. Thank you to all my colleagues that are here. You've done just an amazing job, and thank you to the whole community.
Okay. So before I turn it over to Mo and Tom from Community TV to do our live auction, because I probably won't get the microphone after that, I just wanted to say thank you to our annual dinner committee that made this a night happen. Thank you to all those who sponsored the event, and thank you to everyone who donated in the silent auction. And thank you for being here.